How's it going, everyone? Daxellz today. We're going to be reacting to 10 overhyped games that died the fastest. Let's get straight into it. I swear to God, if they mention games from when I wasn't even born, I'm going to cry, because they do this a lot. They mention very old games that I do not know. And away we go.
A lot of games have a lot of talk and hype behind them, and then they launch and they fizzle
Oh,
out
Fast
really
and Furious. True. That's a lot
game
nowadays.
Examples across a variety of different genres to talk about. So let's get started off with number 10. We're starting off with an obvious one, but it's one that people often forget. It's Evolve.
Oh my
Evolve
God.
is from Turtle Rock's
I remember everyone overhyped this game so much, saying it was going to be amazing, and it was just arse.
Studios, and this is a big deal because
It wasn't arse, but it was like
Left 4 Dead. So switching gears from Valve
it weren't
Steam
great.
to big mainstream publisher 2K, the launch to Evolve made it seem like it was going to be the next big thing. Obviously, people love Left 4 Dead, and that kind of kicked off a lot of fun multiplayer stuff.
Because you played as the alien creature, right? And then you had 4 people shooting at it. I think it was just very unbalanced as well.
It seemed like it was going to be a bigger budget, more emphasis on asymmetrical multiplayer with one player playing as a monster while the other players are hunting down that monster.
It was very unbalanced.
Like a good idea. But this was also at a time, the early days of games as a service and microtransaction stuff, when that stuff was arguably at its worst. Evolve finally launched in 2015, and it got some good reviews, and it seems like people liked it, but
it just died out.
Very quickly. Despite
they didn't have any updates
by the developers to have, and I quote, the best support for downloadable content ever. Just kind of seemed like a lot of typical, not very memorable stuff. DLC
I don't remember the DLCs.
Season passes, new hunters and monsters, a ton of skin packs. Actually, 44 different paid DLC skin packs.
Really?
At launch.
And I was here saying it didn't have anything on it.
But even amidst all that, in the early days, the developers, 2K, were looking at this like the next big thing. Possibly becoming a pop culture phenomenon, translating over to, like, you know, TVs or movies, also getting big into esports. And despite some really promising showings, it seems like I said, Evolve kind of fizzled out. Maybe it was the progression system not being so great. I don't know, because technically, beneath all of that, there was a cool game, a pretty cool realized world, some good visuals, but it eventually transitioned to free to play in 20.
I suppose it's the replayability as well. The replayability is not there once you've kind of played it 5 times, maybe 6. You've kind of played the game
and then by the end of 2016, the developers announced that they were going to be winding down support for Evolve, and further plans for like a Evolve 2.0, or it was called Evolve Stage 2, was not going to be released on consoles. Then by 2018, the game's dedicated servers were shut down, and we haven't really heard too much from Evolve since. People playing it and server stuff had popped up a little bit here and there, but as of summer 2023, the game is entirely taken down. So that was that. There was no big crazy future for Evolve. It just kind of, unfortunately, came and went.
Just fizzled out.
Next over, number 9, let's talk Battleborn. This was a free-to-play, first-person competitive
Overwatch copycat, unless it came out first. But you know what I mean, like, it was like the Overwatch one, if I'm correct.
Centered in arenas, and it was character-based stuff. And unfortunately, it released around the same time
on
as
consoles,
Overwatch,
right?
And Battleborn kind of ended up falling to the wayside.
I remember this. Because me and my friends were deciding which one do we get, Overwatch or Battleborn, and then we decided just on Overwatch in the end, because that was
It had some weird, quirky, but kind of cool character designs, and some creative ideas here and there, but ultimately it didn't land with us. It didn't really seem to land with too many other players, and that's unfortunate for Gearbox, because they were hoping it would be the next big thing. In 2014, we remember leading up to the game's release, head of Gearbox,
I don't think it was overhyped,
tweeted, and I quote, "Battleborn is first-person shooter, hobby-grade co-op campaign, genre-blended, multi-mode, competitive esports.
That's a long
choice plus
load of crap.
Battleborn heroes." Dude, what does that mean? That's like a pile of corporate buzzwords, basically video game words that only get shareholders excited. And it tells me nothing about the game. And that seemingly muddled, mixed messaging there translated over to the marketing of the game, because it certainly didn't pop off at launch. It got fairly decent reviews. It did hit sales charts, but like I implied at the start,
I don't think this was an overhyped game. This was just a game that was coming out similar to Overwatch at the same time as Overwatch. So
released within just a few weeks of Battleborn, and just like a month after release, the concurrent players dropped to like 100. They tried things. They added more content, more modes. They added a sort of free trial, free-to-play-ish mode, but it definitely didn't reach the heights that seemingly Gearbox was hoping. That's all right, Gearbox. At least we still got Borderlands. But next, over at number 8, we have Marvel's Avengers. Now,
this is a stinker. This was a stinker.
And it did find an audience, to be fair. And when we played it, we actually kind of liked the single-player campaign, at least for what it was. But this game was designed to be a kind of endless...
This game is the reason Marvel's Omega was shut down. That if you've ever played Marvel's Heroes Omega, that was an amazing game. It was an overhead top game. It was kind of stage. It was like if you ever played X-Men Legends, I think it is X-Men. I forgot what it's called, but it's another X-Men game. But anyway, it was so good. But that game got shut down for this game, and this game ended up being arse. And I just
endlessly replayable.
So dumb.
Marvel Avengers superhero games as a service game. They wanted you buying skins, buying
this
expansion packs,
crap,
jumping in to play events, and engaging with your friends online all endlessly as your favorite, Captain America.
Yeah, but you can never be the same person.
Well,
it's so dumb.
A lot of people would just kind of want a Marvel's Avengers cool.
If you had more than like 3-4 friends, one of you stuck as Black Widow, and do you know what I mean? Like, not being that Black Widow's a bad character, but she doesn't have any superpowers. She's just an assassin with guns. Meanwhile, you got Hulk flying around the place, Thor hammering everywhere, and you got Black Widow with pistols. I don't want to be doing that, but if you have more than 2 friends, you can't choose the one you want.
Single player experience, and
you end up sitting there on your own
multiplayer thing. The game did find an audience. Despite that, it was the subject of so much ridicule online in the hardcore gaming crowd.
I heard it's very microtransactional.
Didn't always make the best decisions. And after release, players kind of dropped up and down as there were bugs.
Spider-Man was in it?
And some interesting expansions with character additions like Spider-Man or Black Panther.
Oh, that was only on Sony. That was only on PlayStation.
Really the end of the roadmap, because so quickly after launch, the player count dropped substantially. Well, like we keep saying, we know some Game Ranks viewers out there continue to play the game consistently with all the updates and free stuff. It had paid XP boosts and stuff.
It might be better now.
A lot of other players, and ultimately, it just seems like it didn't need to be a live service multiplayer game. This could have been a compelling, regular, straightforward experience. And that's something, because this was a Marvel's Avengers game released in 2020 when everybody was shut inside. This game should have ended up the biggest thing in the world, but ultimately the delays,
I disagree. Movies don't always translate to games, and games don't always translate to movies. It's a different type of audience.
Messaging and the actual service model of the game itself, the design, served as a roadblock to this thing actually becoming the next big, awesome superhero game. It got next generation updates. A lot of stuff ended up being free, but ultimately, after about 2.5 years, the developers announced that they weren't supporting it with new content or features in September 2023. At least they gave away all the cool stuff for free at the end.
That was recent.
Still, that was it. Next, over at number 7, we have Aliens: Colonial Marines. This game just had a lot of excitement around it because it seemed like
don't remember
the
this
game that a lot of people were wanting. Something that embraced James Cameron's awesome sci-fi action film. You're playing as bad.
The only Alien game I played was Isolation.
Blasting away at aliens, acid blood is flying.
And that game was frustrating. Not even scary,
awesome.
just frustrating.
It seemed to be what we wanted. Gearbox was like, hell yeah, we're giving you
I'm not
guys
good at
what
stealth.
you want. And then it launched, and it was nothing at all like advertised. This game fell onto
I do remember this.
Not good at all.
They've talked about this game before.
First-person shooting, the way the aliens attack, the visuals of the game. Nothing looked like what it seemed like they were intending. Nothing really looked like how it had pre-release. People were getting hyped up about a new Aliens
I'm hating
game,
this.
and
2 frames per second. What's this?
Absolutely sucked. And
Why has man got a bazooka or RPG as a gun?
Stuck around for
That's a machine gun.
Like say Alien Isolation, which people still talk about to this day. No, Aliens: Colonial Marines released. A bunch of people online got mad at it, and then ultimately moved on. And it was just a fart in the wind in video game history. And at this point, honestly, we feel like we're the only people still talking about it.
You are, dude. I never heard of it until you talked about it.
We have Haze. This was a game from 2008 that was from
oh my god. Oh, I recognize the character.
Now, you may not remember.
This used to be like a profile picture that you could have on PlayStation. So that's what this is from.
There are some of the people behind
Time Splitters?
So they know how to make first-person shooters, and people were really excited about this one because it just looked cool. The marketing was
I don't know, get
flashy,
excited. The game was
style on
apparently crap.
cover was badass, and a lot of people were dubbing this PlayStation's answer to Halo. This was going to be PlayStation 3's Halo. Their
I hate when people do
awesome,
that.
Unique sci-fi first-person shooter.
I do that, but I don't like when people do that. That's cringe.
Compelling plot in the future about these people addicted to the substance where it controls the mind of soldiers.
Substance.
Korn even wrote a song for the game, and it released, and it was not so great. It got some pretty middling to bad reviews from both the media and players who were all gladly jumping into
That gun looks like a Gears of War gun.
Killer kind of debate, and ultimately it turned out it was not at all. The campaign was the
hammer bust?
multiplayer modes were just not very exciting, and ultimately Haze came and went very quickly. It felt very much like the lead up, the previews, the trailers, the magazine exposés,
over promotion, bro. You can't stop me from complaining about over promoting a game. I hate it.
Than the game actually did after launch. Next over at number 5, do you remember Fast and Furious Crossroads?
Yes.
Most people don't. The funny thing about this one,
I remember watching Moist Critical play it, and he was just laughing his head off at and Angry Joe. Angry Joe's review on this game was hilarious.
It was actually announced during the Game Awards in 2019. Towards the end of the show, Vin Diesel himself came out with Michelle Rodriguez. I mean, we're talking Dominic Toretto and Letty.
I don't remember this.
And Vin Diesel said, "Hey, we got a new game coming out. It's a Fast
Family
and Furious game. It's gonna be
Family."
awesome." And that was it. And people were like, "What the hell? Oh, cool." Then complete radio silence. We didn't hear anything about this game. It was quietly delayed during the pandemic. Eventually, it finally released in the summer of 2020, and nobody noticed. I mean, we noticed. We put out a video on the game and reviewed it. It was just kind of this weird, goofy, junky arcade racer that, had a little bit of charm to some of its racing and crashing action, but the whole Fast and the Furious presentation was half-assed and phoned in. Literally, it sounds like some of the characters voice their character via cell phone.
They want to play with fire? Then let's turn up the heat.
And it's a shame, because frankly, the Fast and the Furious franchise deserves so much more. I mean, the movies at this point are practically video games, so you think that check would write itself. But nope, this Bandai Namco published Fast and the Furious game was very quickly forgotten.
Oh, I remember it from the end one. I think you blow up a rocket with a car or some crap like that. It was something ridiculous. The ending's just
number 4,
funny.
The Culling, or really, the Culling 2. The original Culling was a first-person battle royale game, and people really seemed to enjoy it. It wasn't like 100 players.
It was mid.
Onto an island like a Fortnite or.
This was the stage where Battle Royales owned the market, and I still think it's the plague of the universe is Battle Royale games, because they done wonders for the gaming industry, but at the same time they kind of ruined original games.
PUBG,
everyone was making Battle Royales.
16 players in an arena, and it had some quirks to it that people really seemed to enjoy, but unfortunately then PUBG released and the player base kind of dropped. There were plans for the Culling 2, and this was going to be the comeback for the series. It was going to be bigger and better and be able to seemingly compete with something like PUBG. It was going to be a fresh take. It was just going to be released completely, not like an early access thing. And when it finally released in 2018, it was a mess.
Oh,
it was
a 1.1?
feels unfinished to the point where just 8 days after launch, they pulled the game from storefronts.
That's terrible.
They gave everybody refunds, they shut the servers down, and that was it. It's like they completely just shut it down and ran. They tried little comebacks, but really that was it for the Culling. That was a huge conversation for like a week or so. The Culling 2 is coming. Let's see how that is. The Culling 2 is out. Oh God, what is happening? And then a couple of days later, wait, where is the Culling 2? That felt like a flash in the pan if I ever saw one. Next down at number 3,
I remember playing number 1.
APB, or All Points Bullet. This was developed.
This was a disgusting, despicable display of microtransactions if you've ever seen one. Bro, you couldn't even walk without seeing a microtransaction.
Real-time worlds, and this is significant because they
were
so
bad.
APB was kind of dubbed by a lot of people to be a Grand Theft Auto online style game before that was really a thing. Kind of a Grand Theft Auto style MMO where players were free to run around a city, cause chaos, steal cars, do crime, yada yada yada. So there was a ton of potential.
No. I did not enjoy this game.
quite some time, had a lot of press, it had betas, it had an exciting community, but unfortunately it released, it didn't get great reviews, and a lot of people found it to be a little messy and unfinished. Unfortunately, the developers Real-Time World at the time were going through some pretty bad financial problems, and pretty quickly after the game's release, they went bankrupt and APB was sold off to a different company, who eventually, like a year or so later, re-released it, updated as a free-to-play game called APB
Reloaded. This is the one I played.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I say that out of personal experience. I had a couple of friends that played APB, but ultimately a lot of people
no microtransactions
would be the next big thing.
Am I going crazy?
It just wasn't. And now in 2023, it's dead.
Oh, great.
Now, next down at number
What,
2,
am I crazy then? I swear that game, like, you couldn't do anything without. It was just really confusing, and you just had the microtransactions. I don't know.
X. Crossfire X was announced as an Xbox title.
The hell was that?
An interesting move specifically because they were bringing over a competitive first-person shooter
What?
that was
I've never heard of this. Wait,
Korea
did I play
and
this?
other Asian territories and kind of repackage that for Western audiences as a new competitive first-person shooter. The problem is that there's so many out there.
True.
Crossfire really had to stand out. It seemed like it could have been a smart move, right? Taking a proven title that people love elsewhere and bringing it over. But unfortunately, what they brought over was a messy, bad game. They added a campaign to it, which props for them for doing that. They actually contracted Remedy to help make a campaign. The campaign actually had some cool ideas to it, but ultimately was still messy and weird. And multiplayer that just was not compelling. A lot of people
This game feels familiar, but I don't know why.
Counter-Strike. And unfortunately, you can't
I'd say bootleg Call of Duty because can't aim in on
compete
Counter-Strike.
with Counter-Strike. This game had bad reviews, and it seems like nobody really bothered playing it. It released February 2022, and it shut down in May of 2023. There are just too many other first-person shooters out there asking for people's time and money and doing a really good job getting it.
I don't think there's too many. There is a lot. There is a lot, but I think there's too many. I just think it just probably didn't stand out as much.
Fortunately, Crossfire X just couldn't hack it, and it came and went real quick. It felt like a fever dream. I forgot this one even happened. Now, down at number 1, we have Babylon's Fall. This is from Platinum, the developers behind so many incredible games like Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Vanquish, The Wonderful 101, and unfortunately, Babylon's Fall is not one of the good ones. When Platinum misses, they really miss. And this was essentially their attempt at taking some of their combat expertise, specifically kind of with Nier Automata, and make a multiplayer thing. Make a continuous multiplayer live service thing that seemingly nobody really wanted to get on board with. It had a roadmap, it had content planned, but nobody cared. The game at its height only reached like 1,000 concurrent players, and that dropped pretty quickly. In just like a handful of months later, the player count was literally 1 person. Babylon's Fall definitely had more
for one person?
For negative reasons. I wouldn't say this one was completely overhyped, but it did die really, really quickly. The studio is hyped for sure. When Platinum makes a game that's good, it's really good. But again, when they fail, oof, we get things like Babylon's Fall, and hopefully
it doesn't look
won't ever
bad.
have a step like this again. It ended up being
why do people stop playing it?
Financial loss for the publisher of this one, Square Enix.
Jesus.
And hopefully everybody learned their lesson here. Will they? I don't know. It's the gaming industry. But hey, those were 10 games we wanted to talk about today. So let us know if you have any of your own examples down in the comments. A game that you were hyped for, or you felt it was hyped up, but ultimately disappeared quickly. Let us know anything you want about any of these games. Maybe you like
any game.
Let us know what you think.
Any game ranging from 2019 to 2023. You just put it up there, it would all be there. Apart from Red Dead Redemption 2, that was pretty good. Why are they saying Red Dead Redemption 3 is in the works, bro? They've only just finished 2. I hate stuff like that, man. They've not even released GTA 6 yet, bro. Like, chill.